Good evening, good evening. Welcome back to another episode of The Evening Word. I'm your host, Saxophone Delmone, bringing you love, light, and knowledge to your newsfeed. I have been asked, what is this so-called Bible? It is not a Bible. It is a biblical text written by the pastor Skip Heitzig. And I have prayed because I have been having struggles getting through the Bible. There's a lot of old written text that I just don't quite understand, and it really takes my mind off of studying the word when there's so many adjectives that have been piled on to things that I can't focus. So what this book has done is kind of like the Cliff Notes for the Bible. So before you read Genesis, you read through this and it kind of gives you the setting and the plot and like the behind the scenes. It gives you a contemporary version overview of what the book is about before you dive into it. So you can get a kind of an understanding of what's actually going on before you start reading a different version of English, I can say. So I recommend it. I haven't gotten through all of it. I'm still on Genesis. It's new, but it has changed everything about how I read the Bible, understand the Bible, and enjoy the Bible now. Not just the stories, because normally I'm just looking for the stories. But now I can understand between this book and this calendar how there are so many verses in the Bible that have nothing to do with stories, but they're actually just life teachings of how we should live our daily lives. So, always reading from the calendar, Jesus Calling by Sarah Young. And it is just filled with different verses of the Bible put together for one subject to be able to understand how to live without the usual verses that we run across in church from the same pastors. So October 19th, thank you for joining me. Let's get into it. So come to me with your defenses down, ready to be blessed and filled with my presence. Relax and feel the relief of being totally open and authentic with me. You have nothing to hide and nothing to disclose because I know everything about you already. You have no other relationship like this one. Take time to savor its richness, basking in my golden light. One of the worst consequences of the fall is the elaborate barriers people erect between themselves and others. Facades abound in the world, even in my body, the church. Sometimes church is the last place where people feel free to be themselves. They cover up with Sunday clothes and Sunday smiles. They feel relief when they leave because of the strain of false fellowship. The best antidote to this artificial atmosphere is practicing my presence at church. Let your primary focus be communing with me, worshiping me, glorifying me. Then you will be able to smile at others with my joy and love them with my love. Now, those verses come from the actual Bible. I am so blown away that the Bible teaches us these kind of lessons. I thought it was all just stories, but it's not. They're actually real lessons. These lessons come from a mix of John 1, Exodus 33, and Philippians 4. And how does this relate to daily life? I was just talking speaking with Leonard on how am I going to even relate this to business, because it's easy to kind of relate it with regular life, especially when it comes to church, because we do put up a facade. We dress up in our Sunday's best, right? And when the kids are acting up, you get that look from mom. And then when you get by, you get that pinch from mom. You got the church pinch. I got the church pinch. I grew up in church too. I played in church. I learned to play saxophone in church. I learned the word in church as well. Thank you, Reverend Banks, over there at Little Corinthian Church, little church on the corner. That is mine on 23rd in Fairbanks, Alaska. Much love to you guys. Miss you guys. So a lot of people think that they need to confess their sins, but it says right here in the Bible that He already knows everything about you. So you don't really need to confess it. It's just having a relationship. He's already past that. You know, it's like on a date. You don't have to do the song and dance anymore. You already got him. He's already Father. We're already his children. He knows everything about us. No matter what, he's still going to love us with the good and with the bad. So we don't have to worry about when we're praying to be asking for things or even praying for things. That's why I believe that we need to just do the Lord's Prayer. And that's what Jesus said. All we need to do is the Lord's Prayer, and that's it. And when it talks about the facades in the world, even in the church, well, he said, take God with me. Even when we're in church, take God with you, because it's just because we're in the building of the church doesn't mean that everything is holy or everything is going right. We still need to just showing up is just half the battle. Then we actually need to put trust in the Lord. And that's what it allows us to be open to the blessings. And when it comes to work, well, it's the same thing. We dress up and we have to wear our work best on Monday, right? You have to comb your hair and you have to brush your teeth and put on a certain uniform and act a certain way once you get there. So they say don't mix business with pleasure, because you can't act yourself around your coworkers and your boss, right? You want to keep your job on Monday. You don't act stupid on Friday and Saturday night around those people. So the best way to do it is not mix those two situations of your life. And even when they do, you always bring God with you to make sure that you have protection against yourself, against them, against the environment. Always live in the presence of the Lord. And it has been working for me. And that is why I am sharing these verses and my experiences, and for the other business owners out there as well that are just struggling with how to be able to turn things around. Yes, it is hard to be a small business owner, but if you have the Lord with you, there are many different platforms. You don't just have to try to use the Bible, but find something, find a calendar, find some Cliff Notes, find another version of the Bible that's not just the King James. There are other sources out there. I'm just providing a couple that have been able to help me. So thank you for joining me here on another episode of The Evening Word. I am your host, Saxophone Delmont, and I hope to see you back tomorrow. Please, if you like these, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that little bell on there so you know every evening when we post these videos, you can join me and worship with me, worship with us. So thank you. Much love to you guys. Keep the faith. Keep wearing your mask, and I'll see you tomorrow. Much love.